I hope you brought your salt shakers today. A grain of salt or two surely is not going to be enough for the rumors we have, because we'll be diving into the most recent ones regarding the Lexus F lineup, including the LCF and the ISF and more, which still might have a snowball's chance to make it to production. Speaking of which, the coveted GR Yaris has made it to production. We also have new designs for the Tucson and Kona. And lastly, Hyundai's new EV brand IONIQ has teamed up with a world-renowned famous K-pop band for its theme song. Welcome back to Lexurious Fleet. My name is Kirk if you're new, and this channel is dedicated to covering the latest in Japanese and Korean autos. Subscribe, hit the bell icon so you won't miss any of my breaking news and reviews. Over on Japanese scoop website Best Car, stand by one after another, IONIQ LF. First thing they claim is that the new LF, which is based off the LS's platform with the LC500 as well, is going to appear in June of 2021. Now, I'm all for that. I just don't think it's gonna come that early. Now, this is a flagship in a different way that the LX is a flagship. It is more of a crossover flagship, taking on the Cayenne, the Lambo Urus, and the Bentley Bottega. And the only way it can do that is if it has a super high power output engine. We know it's gonna have a 3.5 liter twin turbo from the LS500. And then they still think the twin turbo V8 that has been rumored for a long time is still going to make it. Fingers crossed. We all want that. Everyone wants that. Okay, so grain of salt taken there. Let's keep going to the next grain of salt. Lexus NX scheduled to appear in May of 22. The only way that has happened is if it's gotten pushed back because of coronavirus. Last time I heard, this was on schedule for fall, maybe October of 2021. So seeing this push to May 2022 is concerning because they need a new NX, arguably more than anything else in their lineup right now, because that is like the fastest growing, the most lucrative segment. Mercedes sells tons of GLCs, BMW sells tons of X3s. This is the hottest segment. They need to have an up-to-date model, and the NX really far behind. The Acura RDX beats it in a lot of ways. They need to have a new NX, and waiting to May 22 isn't going to cut it. But they do say some information here about the measurements of the vehicle. They say it's roughly the size of the Harrier and a little bit bigger than the RAV4. Powertrain, of course, we're going to have the plug-in hybrid, the 2.5 liter of the RAV4 Prime, and then the 2.4 liter turbo, which is rumored to have about 300 horsepower. And probably a little bit more pound-feet of torque. So hopefully that engine comes as well, because we need it in several Lexus models. The new LX scheduled to appear in October 21. Please God, yes, I hope so. Full-scale SUV on its own line due to its distinction from the Lenkel, which that is the Land Cruiser 200 series. So whoa, the fact that it's departing from the Land Cruiser is a bit of a mind explosion. We'll have to wait to see if that comes true. The powertrain is planned to be equipped with a 5.7 liter V8 gasoline engine, which is installed in the current model. I just don't see the 5.7 liter V8 making a reprised role in the LX. I don't see it happening. They could supercharge it, which a lot of people would like, but the gas mileage would be even worse. I don't see this happening. The possibility of it being on a separate assembly line than the Land Cruiser is, I guess that's more believable to me than the 5.7 liter making a reprise role. Lexus IS, well, don't need to talk about that because that's coming in a couple months. We know everything about that. We don't need to talk about the UX300E. We're not getting that here in America. It's available in parts of Asia and Europe. Lexus Sports version F Series is finally here, just when I gave up hope on the F line. I pretty much thought that Lexus had abandoned it, and they still could. This is, salt shaker time. I want to believe. Don't we all want to believe Santa Claus exists? I think we all do. I think we all want to believe that Lexus is still working on the F-line, the ISF, LCF, so let's dig into it. They said that the ISF is going to get the 2UR GSE, the 5 liter naturally aspirated engine, which has 470 horsepower or so, and we see in the RCF and the rest in peace GSF. Furthermore, next year F models will be on standby for the LC and the LS with the V8 4 liter twin turbo that's going to be in the, what they say, the LF or the LQ or the whatever the LF1 ends up being. 670 PS, that's probably around 650 horsepower. to be a direct rival to the Benz, AMG, and BMW N. Please God. I mean, these new renders from Best Car look really cool. I mean, I would drive that, absolutely. And I would drive this. This would be a great daily. This would be, you know, like FU sort of money. I would expect an LCF to probably run $150,000 to $200,000, and this to be running around $90,000 for the new ISF. And then they have an LSF. They're saying the LSF to appear in October 2021. They say the LCF to appear in November 2021. That's a possibility in the sense that the LC and the LS, when it debuted as the 2018 models, they kind of came out around the same time. So if they were to come out with an F variant of both, it's possible that they could come out around the same time. That would be really, really cool. And they're saying the next ISF, we've been hearing the IS 500. I don't know. I really don't know what to believe, guys. I'm taking this with a grain of salt until I see more convincing evidence. I don't think Lexus is going hard in the paint with the F brand. The fact that they said that the NX is going to be delayed to May 2022, I just don't believe that either. I firmly believe, from everything I've heard, it's coming out next fall, about a year from now, next October for the next NX. And then the LF1 make it to production. That's going to happen. I just don't know when. They're saying it's next summer. I mean, I would be more than welcome to it. Bring as many vehicles, many new products as you can, Lexus, because you're irrelevant in a lot of ways at this point, which is sad. It hurts me so much to say. They still make the most reliable luxury cars, the lowest cost of ownership. You guys know I could go on and on about Lexus. They just are by far the most boring luxury brand on the planet right now, and that needs to change. Hey guys, smash the like button. That's going to help me out so much with the YouTube recommendations. And if we get enough likes, maybe we'll actually see a Lexus F lineup return and bless us with its greatness. Fingers crossed. Speaking of Toyota changing though, GR Yaris is anything but boring and production has started. Now it's highly coveted. We're not going to get it here. The 3-cylinder 1.6 liter turbo with 250 horsepower. It started on August 26th for production at the Motomachi facility, not far from the legendary LFA where that was born. And first European customer deliveries expected this November already. Guys, they have Takumi working on it. You know it's going to be an excellent vehicle, a legendary vehicle, if the Takumi have their hands all over it. And if I said 250 horsepower, it depends on the market, but it looks like 261 horsepower here. And that could be Den horsepower. It's really hard to say, but it's a lot for a really small turbocharged engine. Over at the Hyundai newsroom, all new Tucson adds revolutionary redesign. Now this is more of a teaser. They talk about the design. So let's just look at the pictures and I'll give you my thoughts on it. The hood looks like it was taken straight off of a Ford Explorer. Not necessarily a bad thing, but it looks identical, pretty close to a Ford Explorer. The front end, these lights, the same shape, the same outline as the Nissan Ariya fully electric vehicle. They call this kind of like a waterfall cascade. It's okay. I mean, it's unique and it's definitely eye-catching for these daytime running lights. I just don't know where the nighttime running lights are. They could be down here. That's a possibility, Kirk, because with the new Kona, as we'll look in a little bit, the LED nighttime lights are below. Looking at the rear, I think these rear tail lights are cool. I would probably drive a car that they're almost a little Ford Mustang-ish, except the Mustang has 3 of these vertical brake lights. But yeah, I mean, we're seeing this common theme over and over and over. This is going to be big in the early 2020s here, with the rear brake light going across the whole vehicle. And then on the interior, it's just a sketch, so it's really hard to say. It definitely looks like a dual cockpit design with kind of a floating touchscreen, which brings it a little bit closer to the users, which makes sense to bring in this little bubble design. I do like that. But yeah, large screen behind the steering wheel as well. That seems super upscale for Tucson. And this vehicle does have 2 wheelbases, which is really interesting. I don't know if that's going to be cutting into the Santa Fe's 3-row situation. It almost reminds me a little bit of the Volkswagen Tiguan, how that has a 2-row or 3-row option to it. I feel like they're going with that. But yeah, it has 2 separate wheelbases, and that's not going to be everywhere in the world. It's just specific to different localized markets. I would assume here in the United States we would have 2 different wheelbases, but it'll be interesting to see. Expect maybe some hybrid powertrains, some turbo 4s, but we don't have the full announcement yet. That will be coming, and if you guys want me to live stream it, I could. Just comment down below if you want me to live stream the unveil of the Tucson, which is happening September 15th at 9:30 a.m. Now that's Korea time, so that would probably be late here on the 14th, would be my guess. So yeah, let me know if you want me to stream it. I'm more than happy to if I get enough interest in it. Speaking of interesting, the Hyundai Motor unveils stylish enhancements for the Kona and launches sporty all-new Kona inline. Now, this is really an international press release here, and I'll show you some images. I'm not going to go into it too much. There's lots of new safety technology. There's tons of powertrains, a diesel hybrid, a normal hybrid, mild hybrids, turbo 4 cylinders, the 1.6 liter variety with a little bit under 200 horsepower. I don't know which of those powertrains will be coming to the United States. They also have a 7-speed DCT transmission in there, and manuals, I believe, for the diesel, maybe a couple other models. But again, I don't know what's coming to the United States. I don't even know if that 7-speed DCT would make it to the United States. So I'll definitely put this in the link below if you want to read more about the Kona. The N-Line is not going to be a performance edition. It's more of a sport package with different looks, different body moldings, grille, that sort of thing. But I do like the look of it. I think it's a cool looking, fun city vehicle. And the Kona, for me, the most exciting thing about the Kona is the electric version, which they don't talk a lot about the Kona EV in here. So I would assume that's going to be unchanged for another year or two, but we'll see. Kia Stinger engines revealed more power to the people. So this 2.5-liter turbo engine is going to have 300 horsepower and 311 pound-feet of torque. That's the same engine we see in the new K5. We'll also see it in some of the Genesis products as well. So 300 horsepower, 2.5-liter turbo, I'm all for that. They still have the base 2-liter turbo, I believe, and then they have the 3.3-liter turbo, which has a little bit more power this year. Styling has been revised a little bit. The rear taillights is the biggest change with that light bar that goes around the back. Again, that light bar theme, it's even hitting the sedans. And the interior is getting a larger, I think it's a 10.25-inch touchscreen for the driver and front passenger as well. So yeah, no, Kia Stinger getting some upgrades, and that mediary power plant is probably the biggest thing to take note for this next model coming out. And lastly, guys, Hyundai's IONIQ and the K-pop band BTS have teamed up, stealing the spotlight. I'll definitely put the link in here for you guys to watch the video. The video is really high production value. I was surprised, which doesn't, I mean, they're one of the most, apparently they're one of the most popular bands in the entire world right now. I don't really listen to music anymore, let alone Korean pop music. But the song is catchy and it's young and hip, and that's what they're trying to create this new electric brand around, is getting the younger people more interested, because younger people tend to be more interested in electric cars. It's not scary to them. It's more of a technology piece, which young people are familiar with technology. Yeah. Anyways, lots of interesting news today. I'll see you guys in the comments on the big news of all those Lexus rumors, especially the F line. Lots of updates for the Kia and Hyundai lineup, and yeah, IONIQ getting its own song from a K-pop collaboration. As always, again, thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Definitely subscribe and hit the like button if you haven't already. Lots of news is starting to ramp up. New model unveiled is happening. I will be live streaming them, and I just have so much fun with you guys on the live streams. It was a good time with you last night. We were talking about the Nissan production technology and manufacturing with their carbon fiber. If you haven't watched that, go ahead and check that out. If you want to support the channel a little bit more, click the join button. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Take care of yourselves, and peace out.
Make it loud, make it right.